Students, in this video, I'm going to teach you about the activation function, which is predominantly an important factor in an artificial neural network learning. So now let us start with the activation function. So it is a crucial component of deep learning. It determines the output of a deep learning model and also the computational efficiency. So if you see what an activation function is, it is a mathematical equation to determine the output. So how you determine the output? It is attached to the neuron. Can you see this? This activation function, it is attached to the neuron and determines whether this neuron should be activated, or in other words fired or not, based upon the neuron's input that is relevant for the prediction. So it helps us to normalize the output in a range between 0 to 1. It can be either true or false. True can be 1 and false can be 0, or otherwise you can take false to be minus 1 and true to be 1. So, and the other additional aspect is irrespective of determining the output, it also increases the computational efficiency because it is calculated over a lot of neurons for each data sample. So now we go for a technique called as a backpropagation algorithm to train the model, which increases a computational strain on the activation function. So the need of the speed, it has gone for new activation function called as rectifier linear unit and swish. But here in our perceptron training model, we are going to use sigmoid function, signum. So in a neural network, the data points are called the input. They are fed to the neurons, and each neuron will have a weight. So the weight will be each neuron. The input will be multiplied with each weight and gives output to the neuron, which is transferred to the other layer. So this, it becomes a gateway. It is a mathematical gateway in between the input feeding the current neuron and the output going to the next layer. So the step function, it can be a step function, it can be a linear function. It depends upon a threshold value. If your value, the computed value is above the threshold value, it is going to be true, or if it is less than the threshold value, it is going to be false. So when you go for the types of activation function, you have binary step, linear and non-linear. So linear we all know, and binary step also we know. So binary step, it will be 0 if the threshold value, if your computed value is less than the threshold value, and if it is going to be 1, the computed value is more than the threshold value. And when you go for the linear function, so linear function will give you a linear output. So however your input changes, your output also changes. So problem with this linear function is that it cannot classify, it cannot take multiple values, and it cannot go for classification of multiple data. So that's the problem with this linear activation function. So what we do, we go for non-linear activation function. So here I have discussed 3 to 4 types of non-linear function. One is sigmoid, the other one is hyperbolic tangent, or called as tanh, and ReLU is rectified linear unit. There is one more called a softmax function. Here in our perceptron training rule, we have not we have not involved a softmax function. So coming to the sigmoid function, you can see it prevents jumping into the output value. The output value, it is between 0 and 1. So it has a clear prediction for x above 2 x above 2 or below minus 2. It tends to bring the y value to the edge of the curve, that is very close to 1 or very close to 0. So when you see here, it gets saturated. Here it gets saturated. So what happens here is, you can go for easy convergence, but when it comes to disadvantages, very high or very low value of x, there is no change to the prediction, causing vanishing gradient problem. So what happens in vanishing gradient problem is, the network will converge very easily, and it will be very slow for an accurate prediction, and it will not try to learn further. It will not want to take more example and get trained. It converges to a local minimum. It will not go to a global minimum. It converges to a local minimum, and the computation also, it is very expensive. When you take this hyperbolic tangent, it is zero centered. That is, it is easier to model inputs that have negative, neutral, or strongly positive values. So you can easily classify your data, whether it is a positive data or a negative data or a neutral data, or else the other features are similar to your sigmoid function. This ReLU is the most used deep learning activation function. When you go for the classification of words, classification of handwritten digit, then you go for a, rectified linear unit. You have lots of rectified linear unit like dying ReLU and all. But here we go for a ReLU because it allows the network to converge. It comes to a solution very quickly. Although it looks like a linear function, but it has a derivative function. It allows for back propagation. I'll tell you what is meant by back propagation. Back propagation is taking the feedback and trying to minimize the error. You're going to learn it in multi-layer perceptron algorithm, and you can learn what is meant by back propagation algorithm. So when the input reaches 0 or negative, the gradient of the function becomes 0. That is gradient. What is meant by gradient? Gradient is a slope. So when the gradient becomes 0, when the slope becomes 0, when the error slope becomes 0, the network cannot perform back propagation, and if it cannot perform back propagation, in turn it cannot learn. This is all about your activation function. In our next video, we'll learn what is meant by a perceptron, how to make a perceptron learn, and what is a perceptron training group. Thank you.